Thank you very much for joining me on this Thursday. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I'll get into that big-time cyclone back here. Look at that big spin approaching parts of Canada, the United States, even clipping Mexico. But this here, our big story in the Caribbean, the heavy flood threat. Again, Caribbean, we've got a lot of territory, got a lot of area around. But for some spots, we're going to deal with additional flooding today. So I'm going to dive into that and tie everything together. I want to show you, because I mentioned in yesterday's video, that bomb cyclone, which just means I don't want to say just means, but that means it's a system that is strengthening very quickly. And you look at here in the western United States, look at all these flood advisories, all these colors showing watches, warnings, advisories, all that sort of thing for this major, really historic system that is rolling in. You see the spin here, very powerful. Bomb cyclones happen this time of year, especially in the Pacific and elsewhere, and roll in. But this one is very, very strong. And on top of it, there's been other systems. If you've been a subscriber for a while, we've been tracking other systems that have rolled into, say, California, for example. Look at this giant spin. It almost looks tropical in nature, but think of like a sandwich. This is the middle of the sandwich, or the meat. It's higher up in the atmosphere. A tropical system is like the bottom piece of bread, which really feeds off of the water. So this one's up higher. It's not tropical in nature, but very powerful in driving in a lot of rain where they actually don't need it. Again, California deals with a lot of drought conditions at times, but because of the burns they had and some of the rain we just had with a previous system, more in the way of flooding and more systems. And it ties into the Caribbean because as these systems dive down across parts of the United States, they can clip us by and change our wind direction. Watching some snow up here and this here. This, again, as I just mentioned, this is a front that just pulled by, moving through Florida, draped back through parts of Cuba, and some of this is going to give us that change in the wind direction that I was talking about a couple videos ago. So monitoring that as, say, in Belize, for example, parts of Jamaica over toward the Cayman Islands, Cuba, little change in direction in the winds with that front. There's that front. You can see the cloud cover with it moving by here. Once that presses over toward my friends in the Bahamas, that will switch our winds more out of the north and northeast. But this here is a big time issue. What we're seeing, look at all this moisture streaming in. And by the way, Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, we've had some increased cloud cover and an increased chance of rain today. And I was talking about this earlier this week. I was talking about this a week and a half ago, that the Eastern Caribbean late this week, which that's where we are now, would have that increased chance of rain. Now, depends on where we are. Here's Aruba, Bonaire, Curacao, Venezuela, and here's Trinidad and Tobago. Things kind of splitting us right now. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but a lot of moisture. Guyana, my friends in Suriname, again, you see all this cloud cover around. The brighter colors tell me we have thicker clouds. With that, some rain. So I'll take it a lot of spots as you hang with me. I want to get you to the computer model too, but Guyana in particular, the flood threat's even higher because of the rain we had yesterday and because of the storm systems that went by, watching those poor drainage areas. Now, Trinidad and Tobago, the rivers are down from the historic flooding we had. With that said, watching some of those areas that kind of have poor drainage. I don't expect an incredible flood event for us in Trinidad and Tobago. This has been more of an issue in Guyana, but I am watching things. I always keep an eye on things. You know, in the Caribbean, things change quickly, and the chance of rain is higher today. Still on the warm side, 29 degrees. All right, so let me get a look at the rain totals. Here's St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Lucia, Barbados, Martinique, my friends in Dominica, Guadeloupe, Antigua and Barbuda, over toward Anguilla. Here we go from St. Kitts and Nevis up toward the U.S. and British Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico. Look at the Dominican Republic in close to Haiti. Here's our scale here. So I just want to break it down for you. But look at this blob here, very close to Guyana and pretty close to Trinidad and Tobago and Suriname. And you see these brighter colors. So we're looking at over 125 millimeters of rain, or over 5 inches of rain for a 2-day total, and that's on top of what we already had, and that is exactly why that flood threat is higher in this sector. And again, keeping an eye on my friends over towards St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, Trinidad and Tobago, northern Venezuela for some isolated flooding, but more widespread Suriname and Guyana. So again, thank you for sharing this channel and subscribing and spreading the word about it. That's why I do this channel. It is for safety. Also watching here the Dominican Republic and even Haiti, especially on the south side. Look at that increased chance of rain. Some brighter colors. We could get over 100 millimeters of rain, or over 4 inches of rain for a 2-day total. That could lead to some isolated flooding over toward Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Some spots get nothing, but others could get too much, and not as much in the Western Caribbean. Belize, passing shower chance the next couple days. Of course, this time of year, we get a little bit more parts of Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica. ABC Islands, passing shower or a storm. But again, not as much. Jamaica and the Cayman Islands, not as much. And you see it here. Here's our tropical model, my tropical model for you. This is today at about 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Spotty shower, Western Caribbean. But look at the rain. Here's Trinidad, and you see how close some of that rain gets. So watching this sector very carefully and going out in time. The same thing tomorrow. If we get repeat rain, we're going to have some flooding. Watching near Trinidad South, you get toward Venezuela, Guyana, Suriname. Watching that flood threat. Spotty shower here. Jamaica, Cayman Islands, not as much. Still kind of active though. We've had the passing shower. St. Lucia, Barbados. Leave those comments. Let us know what's going on where you are. Every island is important, no matter how big, how small. And then you see as we work our way into Saturday. Saturday, by the way, Belize, things are going to be picking up. Even over toward Cancun as we get into Mexico, Cayman Islands, a better chance of some rain here because some of that moisture does kind of feed across. And still watching out for some of the rain where we've already had some of the flooding. That'll be a concern. I will monitor it for you right here on this channel. On top of that, the seas are going to pick up a little bit, getting a bit choppier. Southern Caribbean, seeing some of these waves at about 3 meters or over, even over 9 feet in some spots. And the Atlantic is going to get more active, especially with that front that's pushing by over toward the Bahamas. That's going to keep things a little bit choppier and up toward Bermuda. Jamaica today, I mentioned in between things, yes, a passing shower possible, but it's a 20% chance. Still very warm, but the nights and mornings have been a little more refreshing, if we could call it that. We've had some relief at night overall with these temperatures, and we'll see that even more so by the weekend with that front to the north that is going to pass by. Aruba, a shower storm possible, 30% chance. Breezy though, winds are going to be kicking up a little bit more, 40 kilometers an hour or 25 miles per hour. So taking a look forward, here's beautiful Barbados, by the way. Love getting our pictures out there. All right, monitoring the flooding today in Guyana especially, but Suriname, keeping an eye on Trinidad and Tobago, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, just in case any of that rain sneaks up more so over by Grenada too. Cooler nights northwest with that front that is going to be passing by, changing those winds more out of the north in northeast. So a little change in the wind direction. That means some cooler nights. Belize up to the north. More fronts across the U.S. I showed you that bomb cyclone moving in. We'll keep an eye on that down the road, how that plays into our weather. And those Atlantic seas will be building. So again, thank you for sharing this channel and helping to keep your friends and family safe. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.